What's up, everybody? I'm back. It's Wednesday, October 1st, and a lot to cover, man. I was out for a couple days, but I want to recover or recap the UFC Perth card first. Guys, this is 2 weeks in a row I went 5 for 5 on my picks. I had picked Carlos Ulberg to beat Dominic Reyes. Carlos Ulberg wins by knockout. I picked Jimmy Crute to beat Ivan Erslan by submission. Jimmy Crute gets it done in the first round by submission. I picked Jake Matthews, Neil Magny. I picked Neil Magny plus 300 to win by submission, and he gets the job done. And then the last one, Navajo Sterling over Rodolfo Bellato, and Navajo Sterling comes through. That's 2 weeks in a row, or the last two events in a row. The Noche, I went 5 for 5. Perth, I went 5 for 5. Let's keep it going this weekend for UFC 320. And here we are. The lines are out. Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira for the UFC light heavyweight title of the world. Magomed Ankalaev comes out at a minus 285. Alex Pereira plus 230, and the over is 4.5. If Alex Pereira comes to this fight ready to go, like he should have the last fight. I know there was a lot of stipulations of what was going on. Maybe he wasn't healthy. Maybe he was traveling too much. I thought Magomed had a great game plan, but anyone who watched the fight could see that Pereira did not look like himself. He looked a little bit off, and sometimes it happens. You have an off night at the office, and, it is what it is. But Pereira's saying that he was just worn down. He was coming in there injured. But any fighter knows you're always going to go in there injured a little bit. But Pereira looks good. He's had his whole training camp set in Danbury, Connecticut with Teixeira Glover. So the value bet for me, Alex Pereira plus 230 for the win. If Magomed Ankalaev cannot show him anything different than he did in the first fight, which I thought Magomed had a great game plan, but if that's the best he can show him, I think Alex Pereira wins this fight. Magomed will stand up. He did great in the stand-up in the first fight. But I think if Alex Pereira makes the adjustments that him and Glover have been working on, I think he gets the win, and he probably can get it by knockout. Just to go over some of the other betting odds, Magomed Ankalaev by KO, TKO, or DQ is plus 200. To win by submission is plus 1,200, and to win by decision is plus 140. So the way the odd makers are looking is they're going to pick Magomed Ankalaev to cruise to a decision is what it's looking like right now. Alex Pereira to win by KO, TKO, DQ is plus 320. Sub is plus 3,500. And decision is plus 900, which is telling me they don't expect this to go to the distance. If the decision to win is plus 900 like that, they're thinking it's oh no, sorry. They're thinking might go to decision if it's plus 900. So they're thinking somebody's going to get KO'd. Sorry, I got the plus minuses backwards. Sorry, guys. But me as a betting man, I would bet plus 230 Alex Pereira for the win. And if you want, the last fight was close, and it did go all 5 rounds. If you want to bet safe, over 4.5, I'd probably go under 4.5 for this fight. Moving on to the co-main event, and this is the fight that I'm looking forward to. Well, I like the main event, but the co-main and the feature fight are the ones that I'm really looking forward to, just as a big fight fan. Merab versus Corey. Merab Dvalishvili versus Corey Sandhagen. They have the over at 4.5. So they're thinking this might go to a decision. But they have Merab at minus 380. Corey plus 300. I really like Corey. But just what Merab's shown me in his last 4 fights. You got the Sugar Shane fight, Umar fight, Sugar Shane fight, Cejudo fight. Nothing in those 4 fights has shown me that Corey's going to do anything to be able to stop Merab or slow him down. I like Corey. He's explosive. His striking is dynamic. He's really been working his ground game in jiu-jitsu. Shredding legs, diving under for heel hooks, knee bars. What he did to Davison Figueiredo and TJ Dillashaw, you can't count that out. But we've never seen Merab in compromising positions like that. So until anyone else shows me otherwise, I got to go with the machine. The Merab minus 380. But if you want quality bets, I know that's a big favorite for Merab, minus 380. But if you want quality, Merab by submission is plus 900. And KO is plus 800. So you can get some quality there. The decision is minus 225, so they're probably thinking it's going to go decision. But if you want those quality bets, KO and sub, I'd probably lean more for sub for Merab. And then Corey Sandhagen, they have him at a plus 2,500 for a submission and a plus 600 for a decision. So, yeah, the odds makers are thinking that it's going to go the distance, those 5 rounds for a championship fight, because it is for the bantamweight title. So, on to the feature fight, which is going to be, I think, full of fireworks, man. You have Yuri Prochazka, former light heavyweight champion, versus Khalil Roundtree, who just took, he cruised to a decision, 5 rounds, dominance over Jamal Hill. And then, of course, before that, the great fight with Alex Pereira. It was great till it wasn't. You know, he won the first 2 rounds and then pretty much slowed down and got beat up the last 2 rounds. Pereira gets the decision or the stoppage in the 4th. But they have the over-under at 1.5. I believe this is going to be a 3-round fight, so, I mean, they're calling it right down the middle. They have Yuri as the favorite, minus 185. And they have Khalil Roundtree at plus 154, so he's the underdog going in. The value bets are Yuri plus 1,000 for the sub and Khalil plus 350 for the KO. So that right there is telling me that the odds makers are thinking it might go over 1.5 or maybe even to the distance. Khalil, man, if he rocks you, he's one of the best finishers, man. He is like a dude beating on somebody who owes them money. Like, he does not let off the gas. Once he knows he has you hurt, he's going in to get that money. Golly. I'm going to lean Khalil on this fight. I like Khalil at plus 154, and I would even lean towards him for plus 350 for a KO. The KO might not come as easily as I'm thinking it might, but I think he gets the job done. I think he's been in there with the best already with Alex Pereira. He knows what he has to do. He made the adjustments against Jamal Hill. Yuri as well. You know, after the 2 losses, he knocked out Jamal Hill. But Yuri has really tightened up his defense. He's working on himself. But I think Jamal and Alex are unconventional strikers. You know, they give you weird angles. They have weird builds. Jamal Hill is not, he's tall, lanky. He's not shredded at all. He's always carrying a bit of body fat, and he strikes at weird angles and off rhythm. Alex Pereira, you know, he's a big dude. He cuts a lot. And he has a weird striking style too. I know he was coming from kickboxing, but he holds his hands low, and he low kicks to the calf very well. But it's very unconventional. Khalil is more of a conventional Thai fighter, high guard, light on the front leg, but big kicks, big power. When he commits, he commits. I'm not sure if Yuri has seen anybody like Khalil yet. You know, he's fought Dominic Reyes, Alex, Jamal Hill, but all those guys are just a little bit awkward. So I think if Khalil sticks to his game plan and pushes forward like he usually does, I think he gets the win. I want to say knockout, but I don't want to overextend. I would take Khalil by victory plus 154. If you have a little bit of extra cash, you know, it's plus 350. You bet 100 to win 350, so go ahead. But yeah, I think that fight's going to be fireworks. So if it does stop under 1.5, I wouldn't be surprised. And if it stops by knockout, I wouldn't be surprised. The next fight, Josh Emmett versus Youssef Zalal. I was very, very surprised when these lines came out. They have Youssef Zalal at a huge favorite, minus 425, and Josh Emmett at plus 330. Youssef Zalal looks good. But for him to come at minus 425 against Josh Emmett, who has pure dynamite in both hands, especially coming off the strength of schedule and the roster that Josh Emmett has fought. I mean, he fought Lerone Murphy was his last one. He got beat. He didn't get stopped, but Lerone Murphy used great distance, good timing to edge out the point victory over Josh Emmett. The fight before that, Flat Earth, Bryce Mitchell, who got absolutely sent to hell with that just crazy right hand who folded him. I mean, just folded him. He looked like a dead body. And then before that was Ilya Topuria, who is now the two-time two-division champ. And I don't even think Ilya was that big of a favorite when he fought Josh Emmett. Granted, he was still coming up. He wasn't the champ yet. And then before that, I believe it was Yair Rodriguez for the interim title. And I don't even think Yair was that big of a favorite. So this is the odd makers really believing in Yusuf Zalal. Man, that's just a big gap. This is one of those fights where you really don't know. I mean, Zalal could outpoint him, out-technique him, but Josh Emmett, like I said, has that dynamite. So if you want to bet Josh Emmett by KO, it's plus 700. So 100 to win 7. Yeah, plus 700. And they have Zalal by decision minus 200. So they're believing that Vegas believes Zalal will take it the distance. That's why it's such a big favorite. Man, I don't know, man. Maybe the odds makers know something that I don't, or have seen something that I haven't. I mean, I like Zalal. He's a good fighter, don't get me wrong. But to be that big a favorite against Josh Emmett, who's, you know, been a title contender, he's got dynamite in both hands. He's been in there with the best guys in the world. I mean, I wouldn't put it past Josh Emmett to land some huge shots, maybe even get it to the ground and finish on ground and pound by TKO. Zalal is the big favorite, but if you want to just bet on the fight and stay away from that, you could go the under. The over is 2.5. So you could either bank on an early knockout or just bet on the knockout by Josh Emmett plus 700. That'd probably be more of a parlay bet for me. If you're getting a little froggy and you want to jump on that, that'd be a good bet. I'm going to stay away from that. The odds maker just have it one way for Zalal right now. And then the last fight I'm going to cover, it's the first fight on the main card, and that's Abus Magomedov versus Joe Pyfer. They have the over at 1.5. They have Abus Magomedov plus 200, Joe Pyfer at minus 245. So they're thinking that Pyfer is going to get the win. And the value bets, they have Abus Magomedov plus 1,000 to win by KO, or plus 1,000 to win by sub, plus 650 to win by KO, and then they have Joe Pyfer to win KO plus 120, so they're leaning heavy for him, and then decision plus 370, so they're probably thinking somebody's going to get knocked out on this one. Or no, they're thinking it's going to go the distance on this one. I'm sorry. I'm just getting confused with the plus minus right now. Sorry, man. It's been a long day, really long day. So, yeah, that's the breakdown for UFC 320. It's going to be a great weekend. Oh, and before I get out of here, I just saw Dana White announce UFC Qatar. Wow, 2 huge fights. Arman Sarukian, who I believe is still ranked number 1 in the lightweight division, is going to take on the Hangman, Dan Hooker, in the main event. And then the co-main, as it's slated right now, the former welterweight champion, Bilal Muhammad, is taking on Ian Gary Machado. I'm sorry. Both those fights are going to be bangers. I think they're both going to be very exciting. The Arman-Dan Hooker fight, if Dan Hooker, man, if he can just find a way to not go to his back, this could be a real interesting fight. I mean, pretty much the way that he fought, I believe it was Gamrot, when it turned into a war because Gamrot couldn't get him down. But Arman Sarukian has been training with Hamzat Chimaev. His wrestling's on point. He's still doing grappling tournaments in between. He's hungry. He knows he fucked up when he messed up with the opportunity to fight Islam. I think he's going to look to make a statement against Dan Hooker, and I just hope Dan Hooker comes ready, man. I would love for this to turn into a war back and forth to really test what Armin can do. But, man, we'll see. As far as I'm looking at it right now, and I like Dan Hooker, he's gritty, he's nasty, he loves to make a fight. But Armin wants to prove a point, and I think the easiest way he can prove a point is just by dominating him on the ground. So it's going to be Dan Hooker better bring his wrestling shoes for that fight, because I think it's going to be heavy grappling, especially after what Armin saw what Hamza did to DDP. So, but the Bilal Muhammad fight and Ian Gary fight, that one's interesting. Bilal knows he fucked up against JDM. He knows he fucked up. He has to know he fucked up. You know, if he would have started wrestling earlier, I think it would have been a different outcome, or might have made it more interesting. But he just decided for whatever reason that he wanted to be a boxer that night. And Ian Gary is good. You know, he's really good. It's going to be an interesting fight because Ian Gary's on the cusp too. He's hungry. He fights everyone. Whenever the UFC calls, he steps in. You know, yes, I know he lost to Shavkat Rakhmonov, but that was a short notice fight. And his last fight was, who did he fight last? Let's see, Ian Gary, he fought, Jesus, I can't believe I'm just blanking out right now. Jesus, I can't believe I just... Oh my goodness, I can't believe this. I'm just blanking out completely right now. Shit, I don't remember. Oh, fuck, man, I can't remember right now. But that's going to be a great fight. Bilal Muhammad versus Ian Gary. And that's probably going to have a lot to do with who fights for the title next against JDM and Islam. If Bilal wins and he makes a statement against Ian Gary, like gets a big finish or a knockout, I mean, I'm not saying Islam's going to win because JDM proven that he can win. But let's say Islam wins and say he wins by an arm triangle submission in the second or third round, okay? Clear cut finish by Islam. And then Bilal beats Ian Gary. I don't know who Shavkat's going to fight next. I think it could be Sean Brady. But depending how all this comes out, and then, fuck, I forgot, Kamaru just injected himself back in there into the mix. It could be interesting. It could be really interesting. Personally, I'd like to see the Bilal Muhammad versus Kamaru Usman fight. Kamaru came off a good win against... Jesus Christ, I'm completely blanking out today. Holy crap. Man, I'm just off the gas today, man. Jesus Christ. Joaquin Buckley. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. So, coming off that victory against Joaquin Buckley, I think it makes sense. If Bilal wins against Ian Gary, and depending how the fight goes with Shavkat and Sean Brady, there's a lot of options right there at 170. No matter who wins, whether Islam wins or JDM wins. I mean, there's a lot of contenders. 170, I don't think has been this busy in a very, very long time. You know, I think it was probably towards the end of... maybe towards the end of GSP's career when he had everybody coming for him. You know, you had great contenders coming up one after the other. You know, even when Tyron Woodley, even when Robbie Lawler had the title, that was a good little run until he got beat by T. Wood. You know, Johnny Hendricks had it, lost to Robbie. But just it hasn't been this interesting. For a long time, it was always you had a clear-cut contender. You know, GSP, Johnny Hendricks, Robbie Lawler, T Wood, Kamal Usman, then Leon. You know, down the line, you know, you always had a clear-cut contender. You had a couple of the mix-ups between Kamaru and Kobe, but man, right now 170 is on fire, and whoever wins out of Islam and JDM is gonna have their pick of the litter, and that's what you want to see, man. This is why we love this sport, because you got hungry guys just shooting for the title, gunning for the title, and man, we got a lot to look forward to coming up. So that's the breakdown preview for UFC 320, preview of UFC Qatar. Man, we got it made. Fight fans, we're spoiled. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. See you on the next one. Peace.